Kids do and say the darndest things. And I'll explain that in a minute. And for the people out there that are parents, you get it, you understand it. For the people out there that aren't, you've probably seen it. But I have a few questions for you. Before we go on, it's day number 72 of vlogging for 20 minutes a day for 365 days. No filters, no edits, whatever happens, happens. And right now I'm recovering from ACL surgery. I only have 37% on this battery, so I hope it doesn't die before the 20 minutes is up, but we're going for it. But I'm recovering from ACL surgery and I finally have one free hand. I've been able to walk around with one crutch, and tomorrow I have hopes that I'm gonna start walking around with no crutches. Tomorrow's 3 weeks exactly from when I got surgery. So tomorrow's a big day. In the last couple of days, I've been feeling a little under the weather with a sore throat. Nothing else crazy, just sore throat and fatigue. But overall, I feel pretty good. When I'm talking about the kids do the darndest things though, like Everly the other day after I was vlogging, decided to go over to the camera, turn it on and vlog for herself. And it was super cute and innocent and lovely. And she literally started telling about her day and everything she had going on that day. And then I'm gonna put this up on memberships only on this channel. So you guys will be able to find it there. I'm gonna post it. It should come out a day before this video. So if you want to become a member, please do. It's $10 membership a month. And I'll be putting up just like random little clips of things that happen and probably some more like Everly related life stuff. They won't happen all the time, but they will happen quite often. But it's incredible. When she was doing that, she picked up on the fact that I say like, this is a daily vlog and that it's, you know, this day out of this many days. And she quite literally picked up on that in the middle of whatever she was talking about. She goes, it's day 200. And she knew exactly what she did. Like the moment she did it, she looked at us and started laughing. Like she's a little comedian. She's starting to pull it out of her. Even like tonight, I was sitting there and I was like, let's play a game called Copycat. And I'm copying all the things she's doing and she's loving it. She's laughing a bunch and it was so cute. And I go, okay, you copy daddy now. And since the last 3 weeks almost, I've been kind of sitting down, resting my knee. She goes and sits on the couch and lays down. She said, I'm gonna sit here with the blanket on until my knee feels better. Oh, talk about a perfect little copycat, right? Oh, I just love it. So for the people out there that have had kids and have had toddlers, what was it that you went through that, like, is there something that jogs your memory that was something that you'll never forget? And it's like one of those kids say the darndest things moments. They're always listening, they're always paying attention, but yet it's so hard to control them. So for the people out there that don't have kids yet, that are like the friend that doesn't yet understand, that's like sees the crazy 2-year-old running around, is like, please stop that kid. It's not that easy. You know, we try to stop him as much as we can, but you also got to let him live, let him learn, let him figure it out at the same time. And it's just so funny because we have friends that they're aunts, you know, and they feel a certain type of way, but they don't understand because they don't have a kid yet. And so for the people out there that have kids, they get it. When you have a 2-year-old, they're just chaotic. They're all over the place. It's the coolest thing, but also at the same time, it can be the most frustrating thing in the world as a parent. And actually, Alex is going to be releasing a book here on Sunday that's all about traveling with toddlers. So if you're interested in that, please pick it up. Or if you have a daughter or a son or something, or somebody, a niece, a nephew that is having a kid and want to travel, it's going to be a great book for them because we've been traveling since she's been born, you know. When she was 3 months old, she went on her first flight. And we figured out ways around it, like all the things that you get nervous about and all the things that like you worry about, they're all fine. Like if you read the book, you'll understand. It's very normal to worry about these things. But we actually have solutions of what we did that is gonna help. And you might have to tweak them for yourself because every kid's different, but they're also pretty similar at the at this stage of life. So you're going to be able to tweak according to your parenting, and it's just kind of cool. So if you know somebody in your life, or you need or want to have the travel aspect of life when you have a kid, you go ahead and pick this book up. I'll put it in the show notes as well, and I think it will go live basically like a day after this one goes live. But yeah, it's kind of wild to just be a parent. But right now, I'm just enjoying this beautiful view right now, just sitting outside. Listening to the birds. Just getting to enjoy taking the air, the fresh air. It's been so nice to be able to sit outside like it's summer again. Today was a little bit cooler than it's been lately. I didn't get out a lot today, because yesterday was a big day of like walking with just the one crutch. And so I could feel it in my graft a little bit. So like when you have a hamstring graft, they take that hamstring from this area here. So like on this medial meniscus area where you feel pain, that's your graft healing. It could be the bone healing. It could be scar tissue building up from the healing process. It could be many different things. And like, you're not supposed to massage it or anything like that for a while. And I could feel like a buildup there. And it's tough, but it's not unbearable. I have only been taking Tylenol, and infrequently at this point. I'm trying to stay ahead of the pain, like they say, but after taking Tylenol so much, so often, that you like kind of forget when you're taking it, when you didn't. So I really need to get better at like setting an alarm or a timer, like, oh, just took it 4 hours, 4.5 hours, 6 hours, whatever you gradually get to. Right now I'm taking 2 every 4 to 6 hours, which is pretty typical. But my pain isn't crazy high unless I'm like, let's put it this way, it's not that high anymore at all. But every once in a while I'll have like a random like poof of pain, and that's typical. Just you don't want it to continue. If it's continuing, then you have an issue. So it's just like a momentary pain. But enough about the knee. Let's go back to talking about traveling with a toddler. One of the coolest, absolute most awesome things about traveling with the baby and toddler is the fact that their eyes are opening up to the world all the time. They're still seeing you all the time, and you are what's so important to them. You are the life force that makes them feel comfortable and safe, and you are their safety. You know, you're their stability. You're that house that they live underneath the roof, you know, like the stable home. That's what you and your wife are, or you and your husband are to that kid. And so as long as they have that stability, that's what matters the most. After that, then the rest comes into play, and you know, making sure that you always have a comfortable place to live, in a sense, definitely matters. But you too matter the most when they're a baby. And so stability could come in all different forms and shapes, but one of the biggest things is that if you could be with your kid all the time, you could teach them all the time. And so they grow up with your mannerisms, they grow up with your support, they grow up with the understanding that you're there for them, they grow up with all these different things. And so that's where Alex and I are so fortunate to be able to spend so much time with Everly. Time is like the most precious thing that we have, right? And that's why I thank you guys for spending your time with me as well, because if not for time, money doesn't matter, right? So basically what I'm getting at is that like that time that you spend with them is the most valuable thing. And that's why you start to see people nowadays like spending more and more time with their kids, or like not taking that overtime or whatever it might be, even though we might have to nowadays because price of things is so much higher. We still see people, you know, dialing back and being with their kids more often than not, or spending more time with family. When I talk to my friends that don't get to spend a lot of time with their kids because they're working, they know that they're sacrificing for their kids to give them the best life possible. But the one thing that they always complain about is not having enough time for their kids. And so that's why I feel so fortunate to be able to kind of tie the both together. But traveling with her, seeing her eyes open to the world and seeing her not being afraid, and even though she has her moments where she's a little shy or she's a little scared or whatever, we're able to encourage her like that things are okay, things are safe, things are comfortable because we're here, and like learning how we find the safety in the travel and find those things and show her why we're seeing that and why it's okay and why it's safe, why it's comfortable is really important for their development. And seeing the world as actually like a good place and not a scary, bad place. Because today, in today's news and today's media, we're sold that all the time. And so there's a lot of people that are very fearful out there today. And like, rightfully so if you're putting yourself in these situations, or rightfully so if you're in a particular situation. But also at the same time, we are the creators of what's in front of us. So if we feel a certain way, we project a certain thing, we do certain things, all these things play into your reality. And then you get a projection of what that is. Like here's it, for instance. Many years ago, before I met Alex, I was like loving snowboarding and blah, blah, blah. And at one point in time, I was thinking about moving to Canada. And not that that played a role in me being with Alex later on in life, but at a certain point in time, I actually was like thinking about and projecting the fact that I wanted to move to Canada someday and explore it and see it and go to the mountains and snowboard it and blah, blah, blah. And now where do I live today? I live in Canada. And so if I start projecting today that I want to live somewhere in Europe, which actually has been something that me and Alex have been doing for quite some time now, is projecting that in our minds that we want to move to Europe one day. That doesn't mean it's going to happen anytime soon, but it's definitely a thought in our minds, you know? And so at some point in time in our lives, you're most likely going to see us living in Europe at some point in time. When that time comes, I don't know. Right now, it's just vacations there, but who knows, in 5-10 years' time, we might live there. You know, so that's the aspect of, you know, what you imagine, what you're thinking about is what you create. So even the lifestyle that we live today, what we were thinking about when we were working our regular jobs was making YouTube videos, and not just making YouTube videos, but living life on the road and traveling. We weren't thinking about making van life videos per se, but we were thinking about like having a free life where we work for ourselves and we find a different way, because we were tired of the rat race in New York. And sure enough, that came to our life too. Granted, there is always planning and budgeting and all these different things that you can also put in play to make your life a little bit easier when you do these things. But there'll never be a perfect moment. There'll never be a perfect time. Right now is the perfect time if it's something that you're thinking about doing. Just go and do it. And I think we're instilling that in Everly, you know, every single day by showing it to her, like in living proof, you know. And I find that wild. I find that beautiful. And we'll get to see it later on, who she becomes. And as you guys watch these videos every day, you get to see her grow. You get to see her change. And granted, you don't see her in every single video. Like today, you're not going to see her because she's getting ready for bed. It's still really cool to see the evolution of not only her, but also Alex and I as people and parents. And the evolution of like, just because you're going through something difficult doesn't mean you can't have a positive attitude or find the good in things. Like, this is, my mind constantly goes to finding the good in things. And like, my brother at one point in time, when he was watching our vlogs back when, he said, you know, you guys never really have conflict, like with each other. You never really have conflict, like in stuff that you do. Every once in a while it happens, but the way that you guys handle it is so strange. Like I wouldn't handle it the same way. I'd be handling it in a much more negative way per se. And he said, I wouldn't believe that was you if I didn't know you, if I didn't know Alex, like if he didn't know us, he would think that we're being characters. But he knows us, so he knows it's really us. It's kind of crazy to think that positivity of how I think and how Alex thinks and how we work together as a team can project this image that not even my brother would have, like, he knows because he knows us, but he had to say, like, it feels too good to be true a lot of the times. And sometimes it feels like that for us too, but I think it's because of our mindset and our attitude and the way that we go about things. And if we could just simply instill that in Everly, oof, man, she's gonna have a good life, you know? And that doesn't mean we don't go through our struggles, we don't go through, life changes that happen to us. And we've been in the pits before, both of us. We've been in rough parts of our lives, both of us. And those rough parts of our lives have really built us into the people that we are today. Having the outlook and the mindset that we have today. And also having each other. Those things have coerced us into meeting each other and being together. And yeah, we're just super fortunate to have found a match that not only makes you feel good, feels right, and also wants to see you be the best version of yourself always, is always fighting for you and not against you. That's beautiful. It's as beautiful as this backyard right now. It's crazy. The wind was kicking around all day today, and now it's calm. Like those waves were pretty big previously, and now they're just chilling. Nice small little waves. The birds flying through. Yeah, so I guess all I'm trying to say is that luck plays a role for sure, but mindset, being a good person, doing good things, having good faith in your life, these are all the things that I think project you forward into a really good place. It feels really good to just let that out. I feel fortunate too that I left my backyard. In other words, I went from New York to Florida, from Florida back to New York. So I went from a place that I knew to a place that I grew up to know and love in Florida, and then back to a place that I knew again. And things were definitely different when I went back, but they were still comfortable. I still had my family, I still had my friends, I still had a lot of things that were very normal, places I used to eat at. But leaving opened my mind. Leaving allowed me to understand so much more. And not just only understand so much more, but grow to be the person that I wanted to become. And it might not be the version of me that everybody else wants to see in me, but I don't think that they hate it either, I don't think that they dislike it at all. But it's definitely a different version of me than the version of me that I would have been if I would have stayed in New York. If I wouldn't have made the decision to date Alex, if I wouldn't have made the decision to travel, and if Alex wouldn't have made those decisions to do them with me. And now we have a kid together, and we're being parents, raising this little toddler, and she's the coolest person in the whole entire world to us. She makes us frustrated sometimes, but still the coolest person that we could ever imagine. She's a little bit of me, a little bit of Alex, and all of herself all at the same time. But I'll leave you guys with that. It's been 20 minutes. I'll see you tomorrow.